I never imagined the sound of a phone vibrating at midnight could split my life into before and after. Yet there it was, buzzing against the nightstand like an angry wasp, dragging me out of a half-dream and into something far worse. Beside me, Claire shifted in bed, her back turned, the glow from her phone lighting up her shoulder. She didn't move to silence it. Instead, she pulled it closer, fingers quick and secretive, the screen illuminating her face in that familiar soft profile I once traced with my hands. I watched her type. Quick, deliberate, then pause. Then delete. Type again. Send. The pit in my stomach formed instantly. Not because I knew what she was doing, but because I knew. The way your body knows when a storm is about to hit, the way your gut tightens before a punch lands. "Who's texting you this late?" I asked, my voice rough from sleep but steady. She flinched, just barely, but enough. "Oh, it's nothing. Work stuff," she said too quickly, too lightly. "Go back to sleep." I didn't reply. I just lay there, eyes open in the dark, my heart thudding loud enough to drown out the soft hum of the ceiling fan. For 5 years, Claire had been my anchor. We weren't perfect, no marriage is, but we had rules, unspoken and spoken. And one rule, my one red line, was simple. Don't betray my trust. Cross it and there's no coming back. It wasn't about control or jealousy. It was about respect. About building something solid in a world where too many people treated promises like tissue paper. Thin, disposable. And that night I felt it in my bones. She'd crossed it. The next morning, she kissed me on the cheek like always, coffee already in hand, her perfume lingering in the kitchen. "Long day ahead. Don't wait up for dinner," she said, smiling that practiced, hurried smile of hers. I nodded, pretending to sip my coffee, pretending not to notice how her eyes flickered away from mine a fraction too fast. After she left, I stared at the empty chair across from me. The one where she used to sit on Sundays in her messy bun, barefoot, reading recipes out loud and making me guess which one she'd burn that day. Felt like another lifetime. I didn't want to be that man, the one who snoops, who spies. But there's a point where suspicion stops being paranoia and starts being survival. So, I did what I had never done in 5 years. I opened her laptop. It was almost insultingly easy. No password change. No careful hiding. Maybe she thought I'd never look. Maybe she wanted me to. And there it was. Thread of messages. A man named Daniel. The kind of messages that start as harmless jokes and turn, inch by inch, into something else. Late-night confessions. Longing disguised as, what if? And then 2 nights ago. Last night was perfect. I can still feel you. My breath left me like I'd been punched. Perfect. She had told me she was working late. I had even heated her leftovers, waiting on the couch like a fool, believing her. I didn't explode. I didn't storm into her office or throw her clothes onto the lawn. No screaming matches, no melodramatic ultimatums. I went still. There's a kind of rage that's loud, that breaks things. And there's a kind that's cold, that sharpens itself on the quiet, that makes decisions while the world keeps spinning. That was mine. For 2 days I said nothing. I observed. Watched her smile at her phone. Watched her turn away when she answered calls in the hallway. Watched her kiss me goodnight like her lips weren't still tasting someone else. On the 3rd night, she came home late again. Hair slightly disheveled, the faintest trace of cologne that wasn't mine clinging to her scarf. "Claire," I said, my voice calm, too calm. "Who's Daniel?" She froze. Just for a second. Then she laughed. "He's just a friend. From work." "Why?" I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized something that cracked me in half. She wasn't sorry. Not yet. Maybe not at all. She still thought she could manage it. Contain it. That I would rage, demand, plead. And she would hold the power of forgiveness like a leash. "You know my line," I said quietly. "You knew it from the beginning." Her jaw tightened. "Are you really going to throw everything away over messages? Over one mistake?" "One." I almost smiled. "Claire, you didn't just cross the line. You danced over it." She started crying then. Not the kind that comes from guilt, but the kind that comes from fear of losing something comfortable. I didn't want it to go that far, she whispered. I just felt invisible, James. We've been so busy, so distant. I wanted to feel wanted again. I wanted to feel a knife just to see if it would hurt less than that. You wanted to feel wanted, I repeated. So you let someone else touch what was ours. She reached for me then, desperate, her fingers brushing my arm. Fight for me, James. Please. Don't let this be the end. We can fix it. And that's when I knew. She had already decided the terms. I was supposed to fight for her. To prove I was worthy after she had betrayed me. I stood up, walked to the bedroom, packed a bag. The next few days blurred. I stayed in a small rented flat downtown, the kind that smelled like fresh paint and strangers' regrets. I called, texted, begged, then got angry, then cold. My friends asked if I'd try counseling, mediation, a break. My mother told me to pray about it. My brother said, don't be a fool, everyone makes mistakes. But this wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. A chain of them. 2 weeks later, she showed up at my door. Rain soaking her hair, mascara running. The kind of scene movies use to make you believe in grand reconciliations. James, please. I ended it with him. Swear. Just come home. I let her in. Let her warm her hands on my coffee mug. Watched her scan my empty apartment like she was trying to measure how much of her was left in me. You can hate me, she said, but don't erase us. I looked at her for a long time. The woman I married. The woman I once thought I'd grow old with. And for a brief second, my chest ached with the memory of what we were. But the thing about red lines is, they're not threats. They're boundaries drawn with blood and trust. You already did, I said. She flinched like I'd slapped her. So that's it. 5 years gone. No, I said softly. 5 years happened. They're just over. The divorce was quiet. No courtroom drama, no mutual friends forced to choose sides. I didn't drag her name through the mud. I didn't tell her parents why their daughter moved back home with a half-packed suitcase. I simply erased her. Her number blocked. Photos stored in a folder I never opened again. Shared accounts closed. The home we built together sold. Its walls painted over like none of our laughter had ever echoed there. She sent one last message months later. Do you ever think about me? About us? I didn't reply. Because the answer wasn't anger or longing or even hate. It was, not anymore. People think the hardest part of betrayal is the moment you find out. It isn't. It's the mornings afterward, when your hands still reach for a body that isn't yours anymore. When your mind replays every kiss, every late night I love you, and wonders how many were already hollow. But with time something shifted. The silence became peace. The empty apartment became freedom. I started running again, cooking for one, traveling without explaining where I was going. I stopped waiting for apologies that wouldn't heal me. And one night, a year later, I stood on the same street where she once begged me to fight for her, the rain falling soft and steady. I thought about how easily I could have stayed, how many men would have. But I didn't look back then. I wouldn't start now. Because some lines, once crossed, are gone forever. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is erase.